Hey visionaries, Butch Hartman here. I'm so glad you tuned into Vision Possible. Thank you for coming on. We want to help you make your daydream your day job. Think of how exciting that would be to get up and do what you love more than anything every single day and get paid for it. Wouldn't that be exciting? I think, man, that's a dream come true. So many people want to do that and most people don't. And I used to be one of those people that never got to do what I wanted to do. And, it was frustrating, but, after, some time in the Hollywood industry, after some time in learning my craft, after really learning how to focus and getting with the right people and pursuing the proper paths in life, for me, I ended up doing what I love to do, and it's just been so awesome ever since. So I want the same thing for you. Hey, don't forget to get our book, Vision Possible. I know, looks like it's backwards, but get Vision Possible and get this on Amazon. It's a step-by-step kind of a workbook as to how to get your vision off the ground, to get it started, to get it jump-started if you've already started it and it's slowed down, or to get it going in the first place if you've never started your vision. And get my other book, Mad Hustle, all about pitching and selling shows in Hollywood. 35 years of experience in this book, and I think you'll really, really love it. So check those things out. And how are you, by the way, today? How are you doing? Are you doing well? Are you watching this video coming off a high of all this success? Or are you watching this video still struggling with something? Or are you at a place where you really don't see how this thing's ever going to get going? Where are you? Let's evaluate you right now. You're a visionary. So where are you right now? And by the way, I meet a lot of people who want to have their own show. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people I meet and they want to have their own show. I want my own show, I want my own show. I'm like, I'm so excited you want your own show. That's amazing you want your own show. You deserve your own show. However, it's probably not going to happen for you unless you learn how to make your own show. A lot of people get a show and maybe very rarely do you get a show and not know what you're doing. It does happen. It has happened. But if you get a show and don't know what you're doing, it won't last very long. It really won't. But if you get a show and know what you're doing, especially if you got people around you that can help you move it to the top or move it to the next level, if you can learn from those people especially, that's an exciting time, getting to have your own show, and be able to make it a success. But a lot of people, they'll come to me and they'll say they want their own show, but I know them, and I know the experience level that they have, and they're just not going to get there simply because they don't have the experience yet. And that's the key word, is yet. You can always get the experience, but you just don't have it yet. So let's look at why. Today we're talking about storytelling. That's the one thing that's not the one thing, it's one of the many things I'm very passionate about when it comes to getting your vision out into the world. And by the way, in order for you to get your vision out into the world, there's going to come a time where you have to tell somebody your vision. And can you tell it to them in an effective way? Can you tell it to them in a way like a story? Can you give them a beginning, a middle, and an end to your vision? Like, my vision is this, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I want to do, and here's how I'm going to make this happen. What is your vision? I've talked to so many people. I used to be this way too when I was first starting out. By the way, this is a Danny Phantom blanket. You can see I got this one looming eye over here. Danny Phantom is on this cool blanket that came out at a place called Box Lunch. It's a store. You can get a Danny Phantom blanket there. Some other Danny Phantom merchandise. It's really, really cool. But see, that's a vision. That's a vision I had for a show about 20 years ago. And now it's here on a blanket later on. So it's really, really kind of cool. So anyway, can you explain your vision to anyone in a succinct, precise way? And the reason I say that is because how many times has somebody handed you something they want you to read, and it's this thick? It's a stack of paper this big. Hey, could you read this real quick? I tell you, it is so such a big chore to do that. I've had many people ask me, "Can you read my screenplay?" And they give me a screenplay, and it's as thick as this. They'll give me a screenplay like that. Can you read this? And it takes a lot to read a screenplay. It really, truly does. And it's wonderful if the person's a great writer and they know what they're doing and they can tell you a story in a screenplay fashion. That's great. And also the fact that they finished a screenplay is very impressive. Even if it's not good, I'm just impressed anybody can finish one because they're very, very, very huge to undertake. I've written several. They do take a long time and a lot of effort. But, you know, someone will give you something to read that's really thick and big, right? And that's fine. You can explain a vision in that manner. But you know what, just walking around talking about your vision, trying to tell an investor or trying to tell a friend or trying to tell a supporter, hey, my vision is this. I want to make cartoons for the family. I want to put them on a streaming service, and I want to, I want to sell them as videos. I want to put them on an app, whatever it's going to be, whatever your vision's going to be. Can you sell it to somebody in a succinct way? Hey, you know what? I have it on my, actually, let me talk about this. The elevator pitch. You've heard this before. The elevator pitch. If you have not heard it before, here's what it is. You're getting into an elevator. The doors are about to close and door stop. Someone else comes in. It's Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg gets in the elevator with you. You're the only two in the elevator. Doors close. You're going to the second floor. Spielberg's going to the third floor. You've got 30 seconds to tell Steven Spielberg your idea. Ding. Mr. Spielberg, I've got this idea. It's about a kid named Marty. He's got a crazy friend who's an inventor. They invent a time machine that's inside of a DeLorean. They drive the DeLorean back in time. Marty meets his actual parents. He prevents them from meeting. Therefore, he endangers his own existence. And the doc has to get him back to the future in order to fix the mess. Ding! And the door opens and Spielberg goes, it's a great idea. Give me a call, kid. And walks out and door shut. That's called an elevator pitch. That is getting your idea across in a succinct, precise, very focused way where you're able to tell people your idea just so great. It really sounds like you have a real handle on it. You know, it's an effective tool. Can you be a storyteller and get that pitch down just like that? Give you another example. A down and out boxer, has no money, lives in Philadelphia, works for a loan shark, breaking people's thumbs. He finally gets a chance to fight the heavyweight champ of the world, and he gets his dream shot and he goes for it and trains his heart out to fight. But then he ends up losing the fight, but still he wins the girl. That's right. That's the story of Rocky. Look how quickly I told that story. That was about 20 seconds. So can you tell your vision to people in that same amount of time? I mean, what is your vision? I want to have a software company where I make software that can help the home cook like you, come up with recipes very, very quickly, store the recipes, and then create new recipes. Boom, there it is. You know, whatever your vision is. It really comes down to you knowing what your vision is that quickly, because you're going to have a lot of people around you eventually. You know, when you have a vision go forth, suddenly a team will have to come around you and you're going to have to explain the vision to them. And if the vision is not clear, results will not appear. I always say, if the vision is clear, results will appear. If the vision's not clear, results won't appear. So, it's really cool. What's really kind of neat lately in our life, the life of my wife and I, we were sort of going for one vision over here. This one big thing we've been going after. And then an opportunity came up to do this other thing, which kind of relates to this thing. And what's really cool is we've gotten a lot of funding for this thing over here. So we've sort of had to put this one on hold and go for this one. The great news is, I know this vision perfectly. I know exactly what it is. And so now that we have the resources to make this one happen, I know I've had to start assembling a team. I've had to start assembling a team to come around this vision. And it's great because it involves animation, involves an animated show. But I've been able to assemble animators and storyboard artists and color stylists who do all the color, and the background artists and writers and all this stuff. So I've now had to assemble a team, which is really, really exciting. And but the cool thing is, I know the vision like the back of my hand, even though I showed you the front of my hand. Here's the back of my hand. I showed you, I know the vision very well. It's very easy for me to explain to these people. And thank goodness I knew it well, because when this funding came in, we hit the ground running. Boom, ready to go. It wasn't like I'd never done it before, because it involves animation, involves cartoons. And I want to explain it to you later. I'm about to explain it. I'll explain it on this video, but I do want to explain it to you in the future because it's really exciting. And we're going to announce it at a certain time after the first of the year. So I can't wait to tell you about it, but it'll be so cool. But this vision that we're doing is so thrilling because we want to be able to take animation and just bring it to a certain audience that I've really never brought it to before. And I'm really, really pumped about that. But the cool thing is I knew what the vision was. I knew what the resources were that it was going to take. We ended up getting very blessed and very, fortunate that these people wanted to help us out with this. And again, it definitely takes people coming alongside you to support you. Anyway, this video is about storytelling. So how do we tell a good story? How do you tell a good story? How do you tell a story when you tell people a story? Do you know it's going to take you 30 minutes to tell a story? Do you need absolute quiet when you're telling a story? Do you make things up as you go along? Or do you need to have everything in precise, perfect order before you tell a story? Because listen, I talk about entertainment here on Vision Possible. I'm the entertainment guy. I talk about creating entertainment because there's really, really very few things out there that are as powerful as entertainment in the media. I mean, yes, religion is powerful, politics are powerful, but everybody in religion and everybody in politics watches something. They all watch something, they all read something, they all listen to something. And if you are making entertainment and telling stories, you have an incredible responsibility. Incredible responsibility. Because the people watching those stories will be influenced by those stories. I can't tell you how many people I get on a weekly basis, probably 5 to 10 people during a week, come up to me out of the blue, or they'll notice me in public. And this is really interesting. I'm a guy who makes cartoons, right? But for some people, a lot of people know for some reason, a lot of people know my face. Maybe because I have a YouTube channel and I'm on social media and stuff. But I'll get approached all the time in public. Are you Butch Hartman? Thank you for my childhood. You made my childhood. Your cartoons made my childhood. They got me through this. They got me through some really rough times. I can't tell you the number of people that come up to me all the time and say what my cartoons meant to them. And that moves me to where I can't even tell you. It moves me so much because they really, truly mean it. I mean, my cartoons really spoke to them. And it was my opportunity. It was my chance to tell them or to tell a story that they would love. And that's what I was so grateful for when I was making Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom and Tough Puppy and Bunsen is a Beast, all my shows on Nickelodeon. I was so grateful that I was able to reach kids and reach these people that watch these stories. And to this day, like I said, I get approached all the time. And now they're even making a live action Fairly Odd Parents TV show on Paramount Plus that's going to come out in March. So a whole new generation of kids is going to watch Fairly Odd Parents. And there are no words. There's no words to describe to you the feeling. And you'll know this feeling eventually when it happens for you because you're a visionary, and it will. It will happen for you. Say that over and over again to yourself. My vision will happen. My vision will happen. I will influence people with my vision. Say those words over and over again because they will happen to you. It will happen to you. But when I get to influence, or when I get to know that I've influenced these kids, it makes me want to be an even better storyteller. This new animated project we're working on that I will tell you about eventually. This new animated project we're working on is so exciting. Because I'm going to get to influence a whole new generation of kids in a whole different demographic than I normally work in, and it's going to be so special. And I'm really taking these stories very seriously, like I did my other stories before. I'm using a lot of people I've worked with before on this. I'm calling them up, asking if they can help. I'm training a bunch of young writers now, which is really cool. I'm very excited. I'm even giving opportunity to some older folks who've always wanted to work in this genre, giving them an opportunity, and they're turning out fantastic. It's so great. It's so exciting to be able to have that opportunity to bless people and give them a shot at doing what they've always wanted to do. That's a true blessing for me, and I really am so grateful for it. But how do you become a good storyteller? I mean, we should probably break down what a good story is, right? I mean, A good story has a great character in it. If you want to tell a great story, who is your main character? If you want to tell a great story, what obstacle does that main character have to overcome? And if you want to tell a great story, once that character overcomes that obstacle, where does that character end up? And can anyone in the audience relate to that character? Is there anybody in the audience that can relate to that character? Who can it be? Who is your underdog? Who's your underdog that overcomes the obstacle and becomes a hero at the end? Stanley always said, Stanley was the head of Marvel Comics for many years. He goes, a hero is the guy who is beaten down so far you think he can never get up again, and then he does. That's the hero. He doesn't always look great, doesn't always smell great. His costume's ripped up. He looks terrible. Certainly has had his head handed to him, but he still gets up and he still fights. That is what a hero is. So who's your hero? I'm not talking superhero. Yes, you can do a Marvel movie and have a superhero. You can have a Captain America story. You can have a Spider-Man story. But, there's other movies with people that are heroes that are not superheroes. They're not in a costume, but, they're still they're the lead of the movie. Who is your lead? And what does that lead character do? What does that lead character need to overcome? And by the way, why am I watching? Why would I care? That's the other thing too. You have to ask yourself that as a storyteller. Who is this story for? Don't say everybody. The story is for everybody. Because if it's for everybody, it's for nobody. Because you'll never know who your audience is ever. Fairly Odd Parents was for kids. It was for kids ages 6 to 11. That's who it was for. That's who we aimed it at. And fortunately, as we started making it, adults started coming along because they loved it because they'd watch it with their kids. We would write adult jokes in there, not like dirty things, but we'd write mature jokes and jokes that really, spoke to the adults and the kids. And lo and behold, we had an adult audience as well, which was really, really cool. Who is your story for? Who's your main character? What obstacle does that character have to overcome? That is what storytelling is all about. And when it comes to your vision, who's the lead character in your vision? Is it you? Is this vision for somebody else? Who's your vision for? Who is your market? Who are you marketing your vision to? Is it to housewives? Is it to MMA fighters? Is it for athletes? Is it for house painters? Is it for kids? Is it for boys? Is it for girls? Who is your product for? Who is your vision going out to? And also, I encourage you to do this as well. And there are cases where this can change, but your vision should at least involve something that you're really good at. I'm just saying it should. If you've never ridden a horse in your life or even been around a horse, you probably don't want to invent something for a horse unless you really feel it. You know what I mean? A lot of people end up inventing things because they see a need for it in the field that they're in. I invented this because I noticed as I was working on my job, this did not exist. And so that's where those inventions come from, So I would recommend you begin to look around where you are and invent something or come up with a vision for something that applies to the field that you're already in. So how do we sum this up? Your vision. Try and get it condensed down into 30 seconds. Try and get your explanation for it down to about 30 seconds. It's going to really make you focus. And if you can't get your vision down to 30 seconds yet, really start writing down what your vision is, who it's for, who the audience is, why am I making it, what problem does it solve? Write all those things down. And then start telling your friends. Tell a trusted person that you love, that you can trust. Tell them what your vision is. Have them give you some feedback. See what they say. It's really going to be a great learning experience for you. And I guarantee you that opportunity is going to come up where you get to tell somebody what your vision is, and they're going to think you're so professional because you have it down. You've rehearsed it. You're good at it. You're really good at it. A lot of these, I got to be in a big presentation this last week with a bunch of very high-level people. And my presentation was amongst theirs. And they were doing great. These people did some great presentations. But when I got done, because I was part of the group, I got a lot of compliments. They're like, man, your presentation was so good. You did a great job. That was amazing. That was the best one. That sort of thing. I'm only telling you this because I worked really hard to make it not only look great, but I worked hard on my actual verbal presentation of it. And I really am very, very grateful that they all gave me such great feedback. And look, I'll work even harder the next time to make it even tighter. And the great thing was, as a result of my presentation, a lot more support came out of that situation. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that. Okay, visionary, get out there, condense your idea, simplify it. Who's it for? What problem does it solve? Why are you doing it? Is it in a field you know something about? All these questions need to be answered. And storytelling comes into it. You're telling a story about your vision, and then eventually, when you get your vision going, you're going to be telling people what it is. If you're in entertainment, storytelling is a huge, huge factor. Everything in entertainment has a story. Every TV show, every TV show, every podcast, every movie, every cartoon has a story that people watch. And they watch because it has great characters, and they really want to see what those characters get into and what obstacles they overcome. Okay? All right, y'all. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching Vision Possible. Please share these videos because it is our dream to help you make your daydream your day job. Have a great one. Stay in touch with us. Let us know how you're doing. See you later.